everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are here to rank the top 10 Thanksgiving horror movies of all time. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so the top 10 Thanksgiving related horror movies of all time. This is not the easiest list in the world to put together. When I started watching movies for this list and started making movies or putting my list together for this, the first thing you realize is there's not a lot of Thanksgiving specific horror movies out there, or at least not what you would think of right off the bat as being like specifically Thanksgiving horror movies about the holiday itself. It's kind of like Halloween. There's not as many Halloween are horror movies about the holiday itself. Now, there's some of these movies that take place in and around Thanksgiving and they involve the Thanksgiving holiday. So you got to pull in those vibes, especially if you want a good list of 10 movies. So here are my top 10. Yes, I have them in order, and I'm going to kind of explain why they are where they are in the list. So coming in at number 10 on the list, and the only reason this film is this low is because I don't consider it a true horror film. I am talking about Addams Family Values. Now, if you follow me, you know this was just recently on my November watch list challenge video. So I definitely think it has all those vibes. I don't think it's a true horror film. It's kind of like a gateway, kind of a creepy, they're creepy and they're kooky. It just has a little bit of the macabre vibes, but it has very much become a Thanksgiving movie, especially with the big Thanksgiving play that happens when the kids are at camp, and Wednesday is dressed up and she's so dead serious, and they're like roasting the camp counselors on the open fire. So I think it fits in here, but because it's not more of a true horror movie, it's not higher on the list. So at 10 on the list is Addams Family Values. It has a new 4K out there. Make sure you grab it. I need to still grab it myself. All right, at number 9 on the list is a movie that's actually been around for about 10 years, but I just saw it recently when preparing for this list. And I think you can find it on a lot of streaming outlets out there. I'm not sure about a physical media release, but I'm talking about 2014's Christie. Now, this movie is basically like a home invasion style type movie, but except for it takes place at a college and a dorm. So I guess you could say like a dorm invasion. And Haley Bennett plays Justine, and she is a good final girl in this movie. The concept and the pull off of this movie is a little bit of a stretch of an imagination, though, because she is a scholarship student to this like upper crust, like private college, and it's Thanksgiving holidays. So everybody leaves to go home for the Thanksgiving holidays, and she stays back at the dorm and the school, and apparently she's the only person around for hundreds of miles, it seems like, that didn't go home for the holidays, that stayed at school, because they show all these pictures of her or videos to show how isolated and alone she is, very Shining like. She's in these big open places in this school that are normally filled with people, and she is completely alone. And I mean, that's creepy in and of itself. Places that are normally populated with people, but are now empty except for you. Those can always give you like creepy vibes to begin with. And so she's here at the school by herself. She's got nothing for Thanksgiving except for her chicken pot pie or, turkey pot pie. And she becomes the victim of this like cult group of like, for lack of a better word, like emo type, people who have a very like preposterous reason for killing. And it's that they follow this online cult type thing where you go and murder people and like post or talk about your murders, and they target her as she is left alone in the school for Thanksgiving. and they find out that she's going to fight back. So she is a good final girl. She fights back. Again, it's kind of like we don't really know the killer's full motivations. You can kind of say that's more scary, but the fact that she is just so alone that this school would just be basically abandoned to this point is a little bit of a stretch, but it's a pretty good movie with a good final girl who stands up for herself. So Christy, there's also some wicked like strobe lighting effects in this movie that's used a lot, so you got to keep that in mind if that bothers you. But Christy, 2014, comes in at 9 on our list. Now, number 8 on our list is one that a lot of you were talking about to me, and I've seen this movie before. It didn't come in on my November Watch Challenge list because I already knew it was going to be on this list. And this is one that is hard for me to show you clips of because this movie is so raunchy, has so much nudity, so much messed up stuff that you're ever going to see with puppets and gobble gobble, motherfucker. It is Thanksgiving 2008, Thanksgiving 2008. It takes place on, it's a Thanksgiving set thing. I really tried to find clips to put on here, and it's hard to even find like little 3.5 second, 4 second clips to put on here that aren't going to get me age restricted on YouTube. The movie is a farce. It's a mess. It knows exactly what it is. So if you turn your brain off for Thanksgiving horror fun, then you can enjoy Thanksgiving. And I think there's a Thanksgiving 3, is there? From like 2012. This one is from 2008. Is there a Thanksgiving 2, or did it skip that as part of its shtick? I don't know. To be honest, I haven't seen past the first one. If you know, you know. There's just so much stuff in this movie, and people just completely go for it. So if you want some mindless, like ridiculous, raunchy horror fun, then Thanksgiving is for you. It comes in at number 8 on our list. At number 7 on our list is one that you're probably not going to think of, or you may even associate this more with Halloween, but I'm going to tell you why you're wrong and why it fits with either Halloween or Thanksgiving. I am talking about Deadly Friend. Now, this is a Wes Craven movie that stars Christy Swanson, who I know, and so I think this one had popped into my mind because, yes, it takes place around Halloween, but like the biggest maybe inciting event of this is around like Thanksgiving, right? So it's been a while since I've seen this, but it popped in my head immediately. So Christy Swanson plays the lead character, and her friend is like a science whiz or whatever, and they are having Thanksgiving. So it takes place where you have like Thanksgiving dinner together happens, and then Christy Swanson has her first kiss. Her father becomes enraged. He hits her, knocks her down the flight of stairs, and she ends up brain dead, except for they are going to put a chip in her head and keep her from dying. And so it's like this Frankenstein type situation. Her power begins, like her strength begins to grow. And of course, this is the movie where a basketball can scare you because it has the ridiculous like basketball kill where Christy throws the ball and hits the woman and her head explodes. And then later, we see this ball bouncing through there. You're supposed to know that, oh shit, basketball. But it does take place. It has all these fall vibes. You got some Halloween in there. There's even like some pumpkin carve going on there. But you also have the Thanksgiving dinner and all that kind of stuff. So I say it can fit here as a Thanksgiving horror movie. Definitely incorporates all those fall vibes. So Deadly Friend comes in at number 7 on our list. At number 6 on our list is one that you're probably not thinking about as a Thanksgiving movie either. But I'm going to tell you why it is, and that is 2005's Boogeyman. Now, this movie stars, I think this is Sam Raimi that did this movie. It stars Barry Watson. You have Emily Deschanel. You have Lucy Lawless. And it is a story of Barry Watson's character Tim Johnson. Let's see if I wrote it down. Yeah, Tim Jensen. Excuse me. I can never remember last names, but Tim. He plays Tim, who as a little boy saw his dad basically get devoured by the thing in the closet, by the boogeyman himself. So like all that, like the childhood fears of the boogeyman, the monster living in the closet, maybe even living under your bed, like that becomes real here. And he spends his life like he's kind of like, he has to have mental help. And now as an adult, he's trying to adjust to life and live a normal life by getting rid of all the closets in the places where he lives. And he sleeps in a mattress on the floor because just in case there's a monster under the bed, he ain't even dealing with all that. So that's how he's living his life. But he has a girlfriend, and she insists on him going home with her for Thanksgiving to meet her parents. So that's where Thanksgiving comes in. Without the traveling for Thanksgiving, he goes on living his life, avoiding all this stuff, and nothing ever happens. But Thanksgiving causes the inciting incident here. He has to go, and of course, he's not going to be able to avoid closets, beds off the ground, all that kind of stuff. So he goes with her, and it brings back all of these things that happen. They can't avoid the closet. His girlfriend gets attacked by the boogeyman. He goes out and reaches to his childhood friend, Kate, who's played by Emily Deschanel, for help. They try to figure out what's going on here. He has digs in further and further and further to this, finds out that the boogeyman has been taking children, for centuries, basically, that the boogeyman is real. And they kind of stand off and have a fight with it at the end. And the post-credit scene leaves it open for sequels that they never made. The movie catches a lot of grief because of the early 2000s CGI and because of the fact that I hear it's like, it's not original. It's not original. That's like complaining about someone spoiling the plot of a horror movie for you. If you're just watching it for the plot, if you're watching especially if you're watching like an old slasher movie for the plot, you're probably in for a bad time. But originality, like you could hammer every horror movie by saying it's not original. I actually find this genuinely scary. Because if you can put yourself back in the mindset of being a kid and being afraid of the thing in your closet, the boogeyman, it's all right there. I wish that, there's something you could do about the early 2000s CGI. You can't. But at the time, it was the cutting edge. And I don't know, the whole concept of a monster coming out of the closet to get little kids or to get you or to chase you your whole life is friggin' scary to me. And it's Thanksgiving that gets it all going again. If he wasn't traveling for Thanksgiving, it wouldn't happen. So I am going to put this on my list of Thanksgiving horror movies. Boogeyman 2005 comes in at number 6 on the list. Now, at number 5 on the list is a movie from 1987 that's kind of schlocky. Like, this is one, I didn't check to see if Vinegar Syndrome has put this one out. This totally feels like a Vinegar Syndrome release. I'm talking about Blood Rage. This is a slasher film about, it has like the tropes of the twins, and one's bad and one's not. One's a killer. Well, this preteen boy kills this couple at a drive-in movie, and then he blames it on his twin. And his twin gets sent to like a psychiatric hospital, and he escapes 10 years later and goes on a killing spree on Thanksgiving. And so there's a lot of like Thanksgiving dinner settings, Thanksgiving dinner attacks, post-Thanksgiving dinner stuff. You're going to hear the killer say it's not cranberry sauce like 4 or 5 times in the movie. He's got a machete that he kills with. There is like some old practical effects. I think you had the same makeup guy that did the makeup and the practical effects for like The Stuff and maybe Night of the Creeps. I can't remember. But so you have some legit stuff. It's just dated a little bit. It's a lot of fun, though. This is 100% a movie that I would expect to see from Vinegar Syndrome. Not going to lie. But he goes on a killing spree and basically attacks anybody that had anything to do with it, and is anybody that's celebrating Thanksgiving, so they're distracted. Even got the post Thanksgiving where the guy's sitting there and he's drinking a beer and his arm gets chopped off. It's messed up. It is totally what you would expect from a low budget, like 80s indie type slasher. It is a Vinegar Syndrome release all day, but it is very Thanksgiving oriented and a Thanksgiving slasher. So Blood Rage from 1987 comes in on our list at number 5. At number 4 on our list is one that is much newer, and I think this is a Hulu original. I know it's Blumhouse. But it is 2019's Pilgrim. And I saw this on streaming. I don't have Hulu, so I must have seen it somewhere else. I've seen it twice. Although, to be frank, the second time it was just playing in the background as I was working. And what this is a family or a woman invites some like actors to come to their house during Thanksgiving and basically reenact like the first Thanksgiving, and they're dressed as pilgrims and stuff like that. But they begin to take it way too seriously, and they're going to teach these people a lesson on what to be thankful for. And the lead actor in this, I would say that the first couple of acts are kind of like a generic horror, but the lead actor in this, Peter Giles, who plays Ethan, and he really kind of saves it. He is like kind of going more and more and more over the top as it goes. In the third act of this film, you get buckets of blood. You get tons of one-liners. You get a lot of like twists and like kind of Thanksgiving geared kills and things like that. So I feel like it's one of those movies where you're like, okay, this is okay, it's okay. And then the third act kind of like more all hell breaks loose type thing and kind of gets way over the top. But it is fun, 100% Thanksgiving related, like all the way around, going back to reenactors of their first Thanksgiving. So I feel like it has to be on the list here. And Pilgrim comes in on our list at number 4. Now, at number 3 is one that I've talked about a few times. This movie has tons of fall atmosphere. I'm going to tell you why it's even more Thanksgiving-y than you realize and can be a Thanksgiving horror. Coming in at number 3 is The Stepfather. I just absolutely love this movie. It is so good. It has tons of fall vibes in suburbia. There is leaves blowing this way and that, and Terry O'Quinn's amazing. He's looking for the all-American family, and every time he has a family, if it even starts to go like just the slightest wrong, like normal family problems, he's out, he's gone, he's going to go create a new identity, and he's not just going to divorce and leave the family behind. He's going to clean house and clean slate. And he has a new family in this. And I promise you're not ready for the opening sequence of this movie. But he has a new family, and there is a big moment that is the turning point in this movie. Of course, you have all this fall atmosphere, so you know it's taking place in the fall. But the big turning point in this movie starts on Thanksgiving, really. And they're setting down the Thanksgiving dinner, and he gives this big whole speech about what he's thankful for. And for the first time, he understands what the holiday of Thanksgiving is all about. And in the back of his mind, though, he's about to flip the switch and wipe the slate clean and start over again. He is psycho, and it's played so well by Terry O'Quinn. But it is like this Thanksgiving moment where, he's like, oh, I'm so thankful. I learned what Thanksgiving's all about and all this. And it kind of sums up these whole fall vibes that are going to it. You got this idyllic Thanksgiving, and in the back of his mind, he's thinking, I'm getting ready to kill everyone. everyone. And the whole like carving of the turkey is like a little foreshadowing, knives everywhere. So I think it fits in with the fall, the Thanksgiving theme. The fact that you have a big Thanksgiving scene in here, and it's when the like as the turning point in the movie. And I'm gonna put it here. I think it's a good movie. Any excuse to watch it is good. So the Stepfather comes in at number 3 on our list. Now at number 2 on our list, you know it had to be there. 2023. This is Eli Roth, right? This is Thanksgiving. You have the killer, John Carver. All this starts with a very hyped up Black Friday situation with, is it Right Mart? That is crazy. People bust open into this store. There are all of these just like way over the top deaths and injuries, people rushing to get their blenders and this and that for Black Friday. And there are all these deaths and injuries and all this stuff as a result of people just going consumer mad crazy over Black Friday. So he's definitely trying to put some social commentary in there. But it goes so crazy and over the top. And then it goes to a year later, and now you have this killer who has come back, and nobody like went to jail for like all of everything happened. There were like no arrests for the big catastrophe that happened. And now you have the killer, John Carver. This guy looks like a pilgrim in this. And he is, becomes a slasher movie, but is all Thanksgiving centered, right down to some of the kills. Like, some of this stuff, people getting roasted, there, people getting carved up, people, it's Thanksgiving based. It is 100%. You have Thanksgiving parade, and there's a new 4K steelbook of this one out there. I don't know if I'll be grabbing it. I don't know how many times, to be honest with you, like I can sit and watch this movie other than around Thanksgiving just to be like, ooh, Thanksgiving horror. But like it is so entwined with Thanksgiving, obviously, and is based on the movie or based on the holiday. And I think it's got to be high on the list. Maybe if it's a Black Friday sale, I'll pick up that Thanksgiving 4K steelbook. But anyway, I think it fits in here. You got to have it on the list. I know you're waiting on it, but for me, it comes in at number 2. And that just leaves one, and I just think this movie is a lot of fun. And it is 100%, you could say it's Thanksgiving, but it is technically Black Friday. So Black Friday is inextricably intertwined with Thanksgiving. And I mean, anytime you have Bruce Campbell starring in a horror film that's like a black comedy horror film, you got Devin Sawa in here, you got Michael J. White in here. And this is almost like a sci-fi horror in that there's like these like zombie brain infecting things that get in and basically turn people into zombies. So you have this Night of the Living Dead situation that comes from an Invasion of the Body Snatchers type situation. And it all takes place as these people are trying to defend and fend off Black Friday zombie shoppers who are attacking them as they work in this department store that sells all these toys and everything. And they've got to survive the night, survive all of this stuff. So you kind of combine Night of the Living Dead or a zombie movie and like a little bit of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then you set it in here on Black Friday. So they talk about Thanksgiving. They talk about having to work Black Friday, coming in Thanksgiving night, like all this stuff. And then the whole like commentary and the tropes of Black Friday shoppers and people going nuts. And this takes it to the next level. They have to survive the night. And of course you have Bruce Campbell, who is like the store manager. You got Devin Sawa from the Chucky series. And of course the Final Destination, right? And, Michael J. White, who played Spawn. Well, I never heard anybody talk about Spawn. But fun movie, a blast. One that's a whole lot easier to watch, even though it has plenty of scares, plenty of gore. It's not like over the top, super over the top with that, if that's the kind of thing that bothers you. But I have fun with this. For me, it is the top. I only have this DVD. I don't know if there's another physical media release or not, but Black Friday is a whole lot of fun and one that I totally recommend just to have some fun with for Thanksgiving horror. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check out Black Friday. And that is my list of the top 10 Thanksgiving horror movies, in my opinion. You guys let me know which ones that I missed down here. I'm sure that you have some others out there. I would like to have some others. Give me some others. Let me know what you think of the list. What did I get wrong? What did I put in? What should I leave out? But I hope you've enjoyed this. We won't get away from horror all the time just because it's November or December or any other time of the year, but we do a lot of things here, not just horror. We have a lot of fun with all kinds of movies because I love all kinds of movies. We do physical media news, 4K reviews, lists, rankings, all kinds of stuff from a fan and filmmaker's perspective. If that's something that is your jam, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. I know we're getting to the time of year where you don't have maybe as much time to watch YouTube. There's a lot of things that go on. A lot of us really depend on it and depend on hanging out with you, and we really do appreciate it. If you want to help support the channel even more, you can join at my Patreon link below or right here on YouTube. Get access to special videos, get your name in lights, behind the scenes of my filmmaking, and so much more. And it really does help out the channel, and I appreciate it so much. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
I know.